In the early 2000s, drones were mainly seen as tools for surveillance and occasional precision strikes, particularly in operations by the United States in Iraq and Afghanistan. While their role was significant, it was often limited to supporting broader military objectives rather than driving them. However, in the past decade, this perception has changed dramatically, especially in the Middle East. A pivotal example of this shift occurred on April 13, 2024, when Iran launched a large-scale attack on Israel using a mix of drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles. According to reports, over 300 aerial threats were deployed, with drones comprising a significant part of the assault. This marked the first time Iran directly targeted Israel from its own territory on such a scale. What set this attack apart was not just its magnitude, but also the role drones played within it. In this video, we will look at how drones are changing warfare in the Middle East and the potential consequences of utilizing drones in conflict. Welcome to Wars of the World. The growing use of drones across the Middle East is placing sustained pressure on air defense systems that were originally designed to counter very different kinds of threats. Systems such as Iron Dome and the Patriot missile systems were built primarily to intercept rockets, aircraft, and ballistic missiles, and while they have proven capable of engaging drones, the scale, frequency, and characteristics of these attacks are testing their limits in ways that were not central to their original design. This pressure became particularly visible during the April 2024 attack, when Israel and its partners intercepted the vast majority of incoming drones and missiles. Although the interception rate was high, the operation required coordination across multiple countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and regional allies. This demonstrated that even highly advanced air defense networks would require significant resources and international cooperation when faced with large, coordinated attacks involving drones. A key challenge is the way drones are employed in large numbers in combination with other weapons. Unlike traditional threats that typically appear in smaller quantities or along predictable flight paths, drones can be launched simultaneously from multiple locations. They can approach targets at low altitudes and relatively slow speeds. This tactic complicates detection and tracking for air defense systems, which must identify each object and determine threats while allocating responses. With dozens or hundreds of drones, this process strains radar systems, command and control networks, and interceptor inventories. Analysts call this tactic saturation. Even if individual drones are not advanced, launching them in large numbers can overwhelm defenses by forcing them to target multiple threats. It's enough for a few drones to breach the defenses to enhance the likelihood of a successful attack. The pressure on air defense systems is both technical and logistical, requiring adequate production and stockpiling of interceptor missiles for repeated attacks. Concerns from the US and its allies about maintaining sufficient supplies of air defense interceptors are rising amid ongoing drone and missile threats. This challenge is also evident in the maritime domain. In response to repeated drone and missile attacks by the Houthis in the Red Sea, naval forces from multiple countries have had to deploy ship-based air defense systems to protect commercial vessels. These engagements require the use of advanced and costly defensive measures to counter relatively inexpensive incoming threats. As a result, countries are increasingly looking for additional defense layers beyond traditional missile interception. Techniques like electronic warfare, including jamming and spoofing, are being utilized to disrupt drone navigation. There's also a growing interest in cost-effective interception methods, such as rapid-fire guns and directed energy systems, though these are still under development. The widespread use of drones is prompting a re-evaluation of air defense strategies in the Middle East. While existing systems are effective, they now face challenges due to the scale and intensity of threats, necessitating changes in air defense design and deployment. But moments like these are usually just the surface, because the full reality of a development like this is far more complex than what we can cover in a single video. That's actually one of the reasons I've been using Audible. There are full audiobooks on wars, generals, and real battlefield decisions that go way deeper into the strategy and what was actually happening behind the scenes. You can get a completely free audiobook and a 30-day trial using the link below. So if you want a much deeper understanding of drone warfare, definitely check it out. It's the first link in the description. One of the most important changes brought about by drone warfare in the Middle East is the way it has spread military capability beyond traditional state actors. In earlier decades, the ability to project power through the air was largely limited to countries with advanced air forces, trained pilots, and expensive infrastructure. Drones have altered that balance by lowering the technical and financial barriers required to conduct aerial operations. As a result, a wider range of actors, including armed groups and regional networks, now possess capabilities that were once restricted to states. A central example of this shift is the role of Iran in developing and disseminating drone technology. Analysts from organizations such as the International Institute for Strategic Studies have documented how Iranian-designed drones, including systems in the Shahed family, have been supplied or adapted by allied groups across the region. This has created what some researchers describe as a networked model of warfare, in which technology, tactics, and operational experience are shared among different actors. Rather than each group developing capabilities independently, they can build on designs and methods that have already been tested in other conflicts. The Houthis provide one of the clearest examples of how this transfer of capability has changed the strategic landscape. Once primarily a local insurgent force, the Houthis have developed the ability to launch drones and missiles over long distances, including attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea. Reports have shown that these attacks have targeted vessels linked to international trade, forcing shipping companies to reroute around southern Africa and prompting naval deployments by multiple countries to protect maritime traffic. The ability of a non-state group to influence global shipping routes illustrates how drone technology can extend the reach of actors far beyond their immediate territory. A similar pattern can be seen in the activities of Hezbollah along the Israel-Lebanon border. Hezbollah has launched drones targeting Israeli positions in northern Israel during periods of escalation. These operations demonstrate how drones can be combined with more traditional weapons to create complex, multi-layered threats that are more difficult to counter than any single system alone. In Gaza, the spread of drone technology is visible at a smaller tactical scale. Groups such as Hamas have used relatively simple drones for surveillance, coordination, and limited attacks, while Israel employs more advanced systems for intelligence gathering and targeting. What connects these cases is the way drone technology has reduced the gap between different types of actors. States like Iran continue to play a major role in developing and deploying more advanced systems, but non-state groups are no longer excluded from using aerial capabilities. Instead, they can acquire, adapt, or locally produce drones that allow them to gather intelligence, conduct strikes, and project power across borders. In this environment, drones are not just weapons, they are a means of redistributing military power. By making aerial capability more accessible, they are reshaping the balance between states and non-state actors, and contributing to a more complex and fluid pattern of conflict across the region. A drone swarm is not just a large number of drones flying simultaneously, it is a coordinated attack strategy designed to exert sustained pressure on defensive systems through a combination of scale, timing, and complexity. In most current conflicts in the Middle East, what is referred to as a swarm is typically a coordinated wave of drones launched within a short time frame, rather than a fully autonomous, AI-driven formation. These drones are usually pre-programmed using satellite navigation systems like GPS, allowing them to follow predetermined flight paths toward their targets without the need for continuous human control. This method reduces the complexity of communication during flight and enhances the system's resilience to disruption. although it also means that the drones are generally less adaptable once launched. The operational logic behind a swarm-style attack is closely related to the concept of saturation. Air defense systems must detect each incoming object, classify it, track its trajectory, and assign a response. When dealing with a small number of targets, this process can be managed efficiently. However, when dozens or even hundreds of drones approach simultaneously from multiple directions and at different altitudes, managing the defense system becomes significantly more challenging. This dynamic was evident in the April 2024 attack by Iran on Israel. According to reports, drones were launched alongside cruise and ballistic missiles, creating a layered threat environment. The slower-moving drones required sustained tracking and interception over time, while faster missiles introduced added urgency and complexity. This combination forced defenders to engage multiple types of threats simultaneously, increasing the overall burden on the defense system, even though most incoming objects were ultimately intercepted. Another key feature of swarm-style attacks is the mixed roles of the drones themselves. While many are designed as one-way attack systems intended to strike targets directly, others may serve as decoys or reconnaissance platforms. Decoy drones can trigger defensive responses, causing defenders to expend interceptors on targets that are less critical, while reconnaissance drones can gather information on the effectiveness of the attack or the status of defenses. This layered use of drones increases engagement complexity and enhances the likelihood that at least some elements of the attack will succeed. The effectiveness of a swarm does not require every drone to reach its target. Instead, it relies on probability. By increasing the number of incoming threats, attackers boost the chance that some will evade interception, either because defenses are overwhelmed, interceptors are exhausted, or some drones are simply more challenging to detect due to their size, speed, or flight profile. Analysts from the International Institute for Strategic Studies have noted that this strategy reflects a broader shift toward using quantity as a capability in its own right. It is also important to distinguish between current swarm tactics and more advanced concepts often discussed in theoretical or futuristic contexts. Fully autonomous swarms, in which drones communicate with one another and dynamically adjust their behavior in flight, are still under development and are not widely documented in operational use in the Middle East. Most confirmed applications involve coordinated launches and pre-programmed routes, rather than real-time collaborative decision-making among drones. Overall, drone swarms represent a method of warfare that leverages coordination and scale to challenge defensive systems. By combining multiple drones with other types of weapons, attackers can create a complex and sustained threat environment that is difficult and costly to counter. In the Middle East, this approach has already been demonstrated in practice and continues to influence the development of both offensive and defensive strategies. Overall, the use of drones is reshaping the nature of warfare, enabling sustained conflict, broadening participation, and posing new challenges for defense systems. The Middle East exemplifies these changes, with likely implications for future conflicts elsewhere. As drone warfare evolves, it will remain a prominent aspect of military engagements worldwide. But it brings with it a host of risks that go beyond traditional military technology, primarily due to its widespread use, frequent deployments, and the challenges associated with defense. Conflicts involving Iran, Israel, and groups like the Houthis and Hezbollah illustrate how drones are not only changing the way wars are fought, but also how they can escalate and spread with alarming ease. One major concern is that drones significantly lower the threshold for conflict. Given their lower cost and the fact that they don't require pilots, these aerial devices can be deployed more frequently and with less immediate risk to the attackers. This shift diminishes the political and military costs associated with launching strikes, enabling both state and non-state actors to carry out attacks that might have previously seemed too perilous. In urban settings, the presence of drones heightens the dangers. In regions like Gaza, where both Israeli forces and Hamas utilize drones, the constant overhead surveillance and strikeability can ramp up the frequency and intensity of engagements. The capability to observe and target in real time compresses decision-making timelines, amplifying the risk of errors or unintended consequences, especially in densely populated environments. Looking ahead, the ongoing development of drone technology raises long-term concerns. As these systems become more sophisticated, particularly with advancements in autonomy and coordination, managing their use could become increasingly challenging. All these factors shed light on why drone warfare is seen as perilous. It lowers the barriers to armed conflict, distributes military capabilities to a broader array of actors, places sustained pressure on defensive systems, and heightens the risks of escalation and unintended fallout. In the Middle East, these trends are already apparent, and they seem poised to shape the future of conflict in ways that are still evolving. Should we be worried? Probably.